Good morning, Seoul, Korea. It's your boy, Brian Ju, and today is Thursday. And guess what? We got a very special Thursday set up for you today because we're live. Yes, a lot of people know that Thursdays are usually pre-recorded, but guess what? We are live today. And as you know, yesterday we had a throwback episode where we played a lot of disco music from way back when. And I mean, not too old, but disco-themed music. And that's because yesterday, our word of the day was disco. But today, we're going to get things started with a really, I want to say popular, only because this young artist, she was a little cray-cray when she performed this at the MTV VMAs. You know what I'm talking about, when she was dancing with Robin Thicke. She started off with her own song, and then she did a little duet thingy with Robin Thicke. And if you don't know why this was a big deal or a controversial performance, you need to go online and check it out. Let's just say that Miley Sick and Robin Thicke were a little cray, act a little childish on stage. But I mean, you know what? She's trying to find her true stage persona. That's what I want to say. She's young, she's an artist, and that's what a lot of young artists do. They want to try to find their true selves through their music. So we're going to get things started with her single that got it all riled up for everybody. Check it out. This is Miley Cyrus with We Can't Stop. That was Miley Cyrus with We Can't Stop. And you guys are tuned into What's Poppin' with Brian Ju. We're on TBS efm 101.3 in Seoul and surrounding areas, and GFN 98.7 in Gwangju and 93.7 in Yeosu. Now, to get in contact with us, it's pretty simple. You can send a text to sharp or pound 1013 for a charge of 51, or send us a tweet too at TBS What's Poppin', or send us an email to efmpoppin@gmail.com, and also send us a Kakao Talk message if you add TBS EFM as a plus friend. And the best part about that, it's all free. Now, you can also call the studio at 02-778-1013. And if you like, you can even get a chance to talk to me on air. Yes, and I'll interview you, kind of get to know you a little bit, because that's what we love to do here. We get to interact with the listeners and get to know people from around the world. And we encourage you guys to call us, even if you want to just give us a shout out. That means a lot to us as well. Also, I want to remind you guys, if you want to join us for Open Studios that airs on Fridays, it's usually recorded on Wednesdays, but next week, just next week, we're going to actually have it on a Tuesday, which is September 10th. So if you want to be a part of that, please send us an email to efmpoppin@gmail.com. And, Eugene, our writer, will get you situated. But make sure you write that on your calendars, too, to make sure you don't forget. It's not on a Wednesday next week, not a Wednesday. But next week, September 10th, it's on a Tuesday. Alrighty, guys? So don't get confused. Don't show up on a Wednesday and get mad at us, because we've announced it, and we're going to try to announce it every day for you guys. Also, tomorrow, that's September 6th, TBS EFM's Indie Afternoon is having its ever-popular open studio titled Indie Autumn Afternoon 2013. Now, this will be held from 7:30 to 9:30 at the KTNG Sangsang Madang Live Hall in Hongdae. Yes, and the lineup includes Shinawi, Kunam과 여 라이딩 스텔라, Diablo, The Solutions, and Rock and Roll Radio. Yes, and unfortunately, the tickets are sold out. So if you're planning on going, all I got to say is too bad. You snooze, you lose. You know what I'm saying? All right, with that said, now it's time to get into the word of the day. As you know, the first song that we played for you guys was called We Can't Stop by Miley Cyrus. And like I said before, this song, she sang during the VMA performance. It was a little controversial. A lot of people were saying negative things about it, but I'm not going to judge. Now, those of you who saw it, what do you think? What were you thinking? What was going through your mind when you saw Miley on stage doing all that weird stuff? You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating, because she's an artist. She's still trying to find her true self. I mean, she did dress a little raunchy. And what's that thing she does with her tongue? I don't get it. She always opens her mouth, tilts her head, and her tongue. She looks like a giraffe. I don't get what concept that was coming from. But I know a lot of you were thinking, even though the song was called Don't Stop, a lot of y'all were about to change the channel or be like, Miley, please stop. And if you look at the reactions, the funniest reactions I thought I saw were like Will Smith and Rihanna and One Direction. One Direction were just not in awe of the performance, but they were like shocked. They're like, wow, my girl Miley's really twerking it. If that's what twerking is, I don't know. I haven't been in the States in a while, so I'm not sure what twerking is actually all about. But anyways, that's the word of the day today. It is stop. Yes, not Miley stop, but just stop. Sometimes you got to know when to quit what you're doing, because, your actions might be just a little cray-cray. And you got to learn how to be like, you know what, Brian? I need to stop. Or you need to know how to tell your friends the same thing. Yo, Eugene, you need to stop. That's what you got to learn how to do. So, our message today, we want to play the next song for you guys, is In the Song. Alrighty? Now, this is a song by a group of ladies from the UK. This is the Spice Girls with Stop. That was Stop by the Spice Girls. Yes, haven't heard that song in a while. But right now, you guys are tuned into What's Poppin' on TBS efm. And today, we got a very special show because we are live, like I said before. And Mr. Eugene will be here for Poppin' News with some cray stories around the world. I'm actually anticipating this because I love hearing the weird stuff that goes around the world. And it's funny because 99.9% of the time, the news comes from Florida. So we're really, looking forward to what news is going on in the world. That's cray. Alrighty, now to get into the next song. Now, today's word of the day is stop. Now, sometimes when people tell me to stop, just look at it, it's like growing up and when someone tells you not to do things. When your mom and dad say, do not watch TV after 8 p.m., do your homework, or do not go to your friend's house. What do you want to do? You actually want to do the opposite. You want to do what you want to do. And that's pretty much what this next song is about. Someone tells me to stop, I'm going to say, I can't stop. I'm going to do my thing. I can't stop. And guess who it's by? It's by a legendary performer. Been in the game for like 14, 15 years. We don't want to say he's a K-pop icon. Not yet. We're not at that 20-year mark. That's what I consider an icon in the business. But this person is getting there pretty soon. Yes. Been in the game for a while. Very talented young man. I want to say young man because this man don't look old. I'm talking about me. Yes, and the song that I want to play for y'all, it's perfect for today because the word of the day is stop. Now, just because someone tells you to stop doesn't mean you always have to stop. And that's what the next song is called. This Can't Stop, right? And y'all know this song was written by my man, Jay Park, a.k.a. Bach J Bum. And the lyrics were written by me. And it's featuring my man from the States, from L.A., Mr. Dumbfounded. Check it out. This is Can't Stop. That was your go-to guy, Brian Jew, with Can't Stop featuring Jay Park and Dumbfounded. Great song. If you haven't gotten it, I know it's an older track, but it's still available online, so go get it. Go get some. All right, now to get into the final song, the first half of our show. Now, the final song, actually, is by a popular British band, one of the most popular British bands ever, called Oasis. Now, in this song, they're talking about crying, and sometimes it's okay to cry. It's okay to show your emotions, but in this song it's saying, you need to stop crying too much. Too many tears can be a little cray sometimes. So check it out. This is Oasis with Stop Crying Your Heart Out. Welcome back to What's Poppin'. Now it's time for Paparazzi. Now today's paparazzi story is about a member of one of the hottest girl groups out right now. We're talking about 21, and it has to do with education. Yes, that's right. When you become really popular and you're really young, for some people, education takes a backseat to their career. Now, I ain't gonna lie. In my case, I broke into the K-pop scene right after high school, so I actually never really got to go to university or get my degree or none of that good stuff. And, sometimes I think about that and I'm like, I regret it. I should have gone to school, got my education going on and all that stuff. But at the same time, I realized I only had one shot to do this whole, musical career thing for me, and I enjoy doing what I do. And I know it's never going to be too late for me to go back to school. So I feel like I did the right thing in my life, but it's always different for people. Anyways, those people who break into the music industry before they graduate from high school, now it's a different story. That wasn't so common in the past, but these days, with trainees starting at such a young age, it's becoming more and more common. Now, some of them actually end up dropping out of high school to focus on the career. And honestly, I can't blame them because that's the situation sometimes. And you got one shot to make it in this difficult business. It's not easy. So sometimes you got to make that tough decision. Well, this was the choice laid before Minzy from 21. And she couldn't go to school regularly because she was busy with the group and all their shows and appearances. But we are proud to announce that Minzy just passed her GED test. Yes, she did. Congratulations. That's right. On a recent TV interview, she explained that she passed the test, and to study for it, she spent 3 hours every day after she was done with work. So she'd go home, go to the office, sit there for 3 hours, and just study. And I know it must have been a nightmare because they're so busy. These girls are traveling world tours and all that stuff. And to sit down for 3 hours, that's hard, to try to get 3 hours out of your day to study. And I'm pretty sure she was pretty tired as well because you got to get your rest on too. You're not going to be able to memorize all that stuff that you're reading about unless you get proper sleep and rest. You know what I'm saying? And fellow 21 member Sandra Park said that Minzi's strongest subject is writing and she ought to go study Korean literature later on in her life. Well, Minzi, again, congratulations. I'm proud of you, girl. Hopefully you get much out of your education as possible. And also, I'll be praying for you always. She's a great girl, great spiritual, great, she's focused on God as well. So great girl, big ups to you. And, we got to play a song for y'all right now. Now, this is a song, everyone loves 21 songs. I love this song. Check it out. This is 21 with Do You Love Me? All right now it's time for Poppin' News. It's your go-to guy, Eugene Huang, in the studio right now.
Do you love me like I love you?
I love you.
Thank you. I love you
weird.
too. Why? That's a good song. I'm just saying. That's the first time I heard it. Actually, I selected it myself, but I hadn't heard it before. So.
And it's a good song when you have K-pop groups being able to spell the words.
Yes, definitely. That's really good. Yes. And when you're doing that, if you want to learn English, you can listen to K-pop and learn how to spell. That's
exactly.
I'm just playing.
Yes.
Actually, we're going to the news today, and we have no news from Florida. Nothing strange happened in Florida that we can say on radio, that is.
I just want to say congratulations to everybody in Florida for not being cray-cray this week. I know it takes a lot to not be crazy in that state.
Yes.
But
it must be the sunshine, and, since it's becoming autumn now, maybe it's a little bit cooler and people are a little more cool-headed.
Exactly.
That's possible.
The steam has, just faded away and they're feeling the cool air. Wait, does Florida get cold?
Sometimes. I mean, I remember a few years back they had a blizzard down there that ruined the orange crop, and a lot of people were really surprised. Like, really, it's snowing in Florida? But yeah, it happens from time to time.
And were people tame during that time because it was?
Well, I guess they were freaking out because
we had no oranges.
It's like I don't know how to drive in the snow. I've never seen snow before.
That's true.
That happens. But let's get into the first story. I'm a little hungry. Are you hungry?
Actually, I'm not going to lie. I am not hungry because right before we went into the live, I had myself a little egg salad.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
You offered me the bread, but I said...
I did because I don't want to eat bread no more.
Well, I'm not actually hungry myself, but I wanted to segue into our first story.
All right.
This is about the New York Wing Eating Championship in Buffalo, New York.
Okay. That's funny how it's wing eating and buffalo wings.
Yes, it was Buffalo.
New York. Okay.
It was buffalo wings, and those actually do come from
Buffalo, New York. Okay,
it's not like the buffalo has wings, because buffalo.
And it's not like it's buffalo meat.
Right. Exactly. That would be kind of weird, I guess.
But we eat buffalo.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but wings on a buffalo,
Yeah, it'd be scary.
That'd be kind of weird. Okay, but this is interesting because they had a professional eating contest. I didn't know that people can actually professionally eat. But that's an actual thing now. And
that is true.
The people that came in first, second, and third were all women.
Wow. They beat all the dudes?
They beat all the dudes.
Wow.
And when you hear about these women, you're going to be pretty surprised. The winner, her name was Miki Sudo. Okay. I believe she's a Japanese-American.
Okay.
She ate 178 wings.
What?
In 12 minutes.
Now, she ate every piece of meat that was on the bone. Because some people leave a lot of meat and cartilage on the bone, and they go like, I ate my wing. And I'm like, you didn't eat the whole thing. It's a waste of money.
Well, I believe that they have certain rules about that in this particular contest. I know in the hot dog eating contest, you have to put, the bun and the meat in
you have to eat the bun as well.
Right.
Okay.
But for this one, probably you just have to pull the meat off of the bone. I don't know exactly sure. I'm sure there's judges that'll make sure that, like on CrossFit, you have the people that do the no rep thing.
Oh,
you didn't finish that one, right?
Yeah.
So this woman, Ms. Sudo, is actually 115 pounds.
What?
Which is, I guess that's
She's
around...
so light.
How many kilograms would that be? Like 40?
115 pounds would be less than 50 kilograms.
Yeah,
so
like 45 or something.
50, yeah.
Yeah, so she is a newcomer to the U.S. professional wing eating... the U.S. professional eating circuit, it says. Yeah, pro eating circuit. Second place was Michelle Lesko of Tucson, Arizona, and she is, she was not able to best Ms. Sudo. And third place, this is actually a Korean Korean adoptee. Her name was Sonia the Black Widow Thomas from Alexandria, Virginia. She came in third place. Last year's winner was a man named Joey Chestnut, who is he's always in the hot dog eating contest that happens every year on the 4th of July.
But this year I heard he was a no-show.
Yes, he was. You heard. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a no-show. He didn't show up. Last year he ate 191 chicken wings. So he might have been able to
how did he eat 191 wings?
in 12 minutes, That's crazy. And I don't know, like, if you're really that hungry, then probably you couldn't eat that many. And I've heard...
Because your stomach shrinks.
Yeah, I've heard that people in this case, though, they don't think of it as food. They're like, oh, I just have to get rid of all this stuff in front of me. And
but I've done that before.
Have
you ever had like a table of food, your friends and you're eating, and you're thinking, oh, this is a waste if you leave it. And I remember all you can eat wing nights, the cheap wing nights at the bars and
right. You want to get your money's worth, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I'll order a basket. And a basket's about a dozen wings. Mm-hmm. So I try that. I'm like, okay, a dozen wings. I'm content, but I'm still hungry.
Yes.
So I order another basket. I ate about 6 or 7 more wings. I'm like, all right, I'm full.
Right.
So I can't imagine eating even half as much as these people ate.
Yeah, in 12 minutes, no doubt. I mean, I think that the reason that they do this is, originally it started out as like, a sport for really large people. But then the money started coming in, like the prize money for it.
And so then the skinnier people are like, I want to do this too.
Yeah, and they said they're actually better at it because they don't get as tired so quickly. And then it just goes right through them.
You get tired from eating?
Yeah, you can. Your jaws get tired.
Your jaws get tired, but you're eating. But then when you're eating more calories, but you need those calories to burn. So wouldn't you want to keep eating and keep that movement going?
I guess so. But these people generally they do not eat this much that often, And
wow.
if you are a larger person, then your body has an instinctive reaction to tell you to stop eating. I've heard. So it's actually better for the more in shape and fit people to do it. So you might actually be good at this. Although I cannot
I don't want to
imagine.
attempt it.
Yeah, it's probably not the healthiest sport.
Not the healthiest sport. It's chicken, so it's okay. But if it's wings, it's going to have sauce all over it.
That is true.
And I'm thinking, what's going to happen after? It's not the wing part. It's the part where I'm going to be in the bathroom for like a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember there was somebody named Mr. Kobayashi who was really good at the hot dog eating contest that they have every year. He's from Japan. And I remember they had an interview with him on TV, and they said, how do you feel after you're done with your hot dog eating contest? He would eat like 150 hot dogs in 12 minutes or something.
Disgusting.
He's like, I feel terrible. And, he's pretty ripped. He has abs. But after one of the hot dog eating contests, he lifted up his shirt, and it looked like he was pregnant almost, right? And then he's like, well, I spend the next day pretty much at home lying down and going back and forth between, the place where I'm lying down and the bathroom because that's all you really can do.
Because think about it. You're eating bad carbs and processed meat.
Yes.
Of course you're going to feel like poop.
But you can make a lot of money doing it, apparently.
Wait, what's the grand prize for this?
For the wing eating contest, I do not know, but for the hot dog eating contest, I believe it's like $50,000 or $100,000, and you get like the yellow mustard championship belt.
So you're eating away to get a belt and $100,000.
Something like that, yeah.
People really love money too much.
Well, if you have a talent, then you have a talent. All right, shall we go on to the next story? This comes from orange.co.uk. This is about a man who was caught in New Zealand. Do you know why he was caught?
I do not know.
All right, let's think about it. So basically, he was walking off the plane, and the people noticed that his trousers were kind of leaking, right?
What?
So his trousers
leaking?
His pants were leaking, right? So they thought, maybe there's something wrong with him. Maybe he's sick or something. Mm-hmm. Turns out he had some plastic bags full of water in his pockets.
And why is this?
Because he was trying to smuggle some tropical fish into the country.
Oh my gosh.
So he had some tropical fish in his pockets, and he was coming into New Zealand.
And he got caught.
He got caught, yeah. And then he tried to play it off. He's like, oh, I was just carrying this water from the plane because I'm thirsty. I didn't have a bottle to put it in, so I just put it in these plastic bags.
I would have been like, I couldn't hold, my bladder exploded or something.
Yeah, but obviously...
I was going to smuggle in some tropical fish.
After they searched him, they found the plastic bags with the fish in them, and he's like, oh, well, I'm trying to bring these fish into the country for my friend. They're his pets. you know, and they're like, well, why didn't you just, you know, declare it through customs? And he's like, oh, I didn't know anything about that, right? The man was unfortunately from Singapore. I know we have a lot of fans from Singapore out there that are probably not happy about that, but that's okay. That's what happened.
Well, you can't really judge a person from where he's from. He is just a person.
Not. Okay. Of course not. And I'm sorry. The next person in the next story is from Singapore. This guy's from Vietnam.
Okay.
He had a fine of 100,000 New Zealand dollars, which is about 50,000 pounds, this says. So
for some fish?
Well, they have really strict rules about that in New Zealand and Australia. It was a type of chichlid, I believe, or cichlid. I don't know how to pronounce that, but
is it a rare fish?
I believe cichlids are very rare. Yes.
Okay.
And he said that he wanted to bring them in, but the customs officer says that's something that we take very seriously. Fish could have been carrying diseases.
That's true.
And it's a potential to displace our native species. And you know they have a huge problem with that in Australia and New Zealand. If you bring some animals into the country, then, you know, they might not have a natural predator in that environment. So, like, if you were to bring a mouse or a rat into Australia, for example, they could just overpopulate the place. And that's happened before. The same thing happened with frogs, I believe. They had like an epidemic of that. It's like a biblical plague almost. So, you know, definitely it's good that they caught him. If you're ever going to travel anywhere, don't try to smuggle living animals anywhere.
Yeah, what he did was not smooth, dude.
Definitely not. He was definitely not a smooth criminal.
No, he wasn't.
No.
And that's the next song for you guys right now. This is my man, Michael Jackson, with Smooth Criminal. That was Mr. Jackson, a.k.a. Michael Jackson, not a.k.a. But what other names or nicknames did he have?
The Smooth Criminal.
King of Pop.
Jacko.
Yes.
Yes, he was amazing, and that was a very good music video for that song.
That's a great music video for that song.
It is, and it actually features a young kid, Sean Lennon.
Yeah, when he was like breakdance or doing the Michael Jackson moves?
That was somebody else, but yes, he was in there. But let's go on to the next story. I want to know, Brian, what toys did you play with when you were a kid?
I had the Army toys. I don't want to say the brand.
Okay, yes.
You know, Joe, American hero.
That's say, well, okay, anyway. Yeah, I think we all know what you're talking about.
They made a movie out of it. Yeah.
I had the cars that turn into robots. I liked a lot of those.
I had the micro machines. Remember those?
Yes, I do. I remember those. But the guy who talked really fast.
Yeah. Micro machines. Yeah, I remember that.
Of course. But there is one man in Singapore. This is what I was talking about earlier. And he owns 6,000 Barbie dolls.
What?
That is his obsession. His name is Jian Yang. And he's 33 years old. And he has in his possession, in one room in his house, 3,000 Barbie dolls, which, you know, in his entire collection, he has 6,000, and so some of them are in storage.
Was this man once a woman before he was a man?
He was not. He says
6,000 Barbie dolls.
Yes. He says that this was an obsession that he's had since his childhood, and his friends and family have learned to support him. But he calls himself a toy nerd. Most toy nerds, if they're older, they'll collect action figures, which is kind of weird, but this is really weird because it's specifically Barbie dolls.
Yeah,
right?
A girl's toy, yeah.
Definitely. And he has spent $500,000 of Singapore money on these Barbie dolls, and he has that's about $392,000 US. And he's really into it. And he says that he goes to New York very often, and once he's in New York, he buys like 65. The last time he went there, he bought 65 dolls. So he's really into that. There are people that really like Barbie dolls.
Is there anything that you collect?
That I collect? Well, when I was a kid, I collected coins and stamps, but recently, no, I don't really. I'm not much of a collector.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I used to collect that brand, the athletic wear brand.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
You know something.
Yes.
And I'd always wear the jumper jackets. And I have a lot of them, but right now I paused on that. Now I'm collecting a lot of CrossFit stuff. That's my thing right now.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, I have a lot of shoes and a lot of shirts. But unfortunately, we can't talk about shoes and shirts and Barbie dolls anymore because we are done for the day.
Oh, that's too bad. But we can play this awesome song about Barbie. It's called Barbie Girl by Aqua.
Yes, it's a great song. Check it out. This song came out when I was younger, too, and me and Eugene weren't in Korea.
Yes.
So it's the last song of the hour. We want to thank Eugene for coming in with some Poppin' cray-cray news.
Always a pleasure.
Yes, and we want to thank all you listeners right now for tuning in. And the last song of the hour is Aqua with Barbie Girl. And I will see y'all tomorrow at Open Studio.
Peace.